I had these friends who spent a year in Israel, and they're not of Jewish heritage, and they were, I guess you could describe them as non-Jews who believed in Yeshua and wanted to keep the Torah. And they were living up in Poria, which is a place that has a lot of Messianics. And they explained to their landlord that they believe in Yeshua, and he says, "Oh, Katolim, Catholics." And they're like, "What? No, Catholics aren't even Christians. We have nothing to do with them." But in the mind of most Israelis, I think, or most Jews, I think most Jews look at Christianity as Catholicism. And yeah, there's this little like rebellious daughter, the Protestants, but they don't realize, like my mother-in-law, for example, who is a lifelong Protestant, doesn't consider Catholics to be Christians.
No.
Right? And they have nothing to do with Christianity, according to her. So you kept them separate. Okay.
Yeah, because you will find the same notion within the Messianic body. Now, we didn't ask them about Catholicism because that's outside of the scope of the survey, but you will find the same notion in most of the Messianic congregations, that they do not consider the Catholics to be Christian or to be believers.
Okay. Oh, well, that's interesting. So now you corrected yourself. Did they consider themselves to be Christian, most of the Messianics?
So that's also a very good question. And now I'll just round up the numbers for the sake of clarity.
And this doesn't include the 7 Catholic congregations that you're talking about now. Okay.
No.
All right.
But 95% of the Messianic movement in Israel will not use the term Christian.
Mm-hmm.
So only about 5% are comfortable with calling themselves Christians.
Wow.
The West do not like the term because it is in Israel, it's like going over to the enemy, maybe, or the worst thing you can do as a Jew is become a Christian. That's the view for many people.
Okay.
So for them, there are also a few theological differences for some of them that makes it difficult to say that they're Christian in a traditional sense, at least.
Okay, I want you to save that because I want to ask you about, you used the word believers. You said first, I think you said Christians and then believers, or I don't remember exactly what you said, but it's really interesting. So you said 95% don't call themselves Christians. You said they don't use the word Christians, or they would actually reject the term Christian?
So we did a survey where we asked the congregants what terms are they comfortable with, expressing themselves with, and 95% were not comfortable with the term Christian.
They're not comfortable with the term Christian. Okay, so you use the term believer, and I lived in Israel for 20 years, and the word ma'amin is thrown around in Israeli culture, usually in my experience, and I'm guessing your experience might be a bit different, but in my experience, ma'amin is somebody who believes in God, but isn't Orthodox, right? They'll say lo dati.
Yes.
And it would never occur to most Israelis that ma'amin, believer, has anything to do with Jesus or Yeshua or Christianity. Whereas in the Christian world, believer is you believe in Jesus or Yeshua.
So in Israel, they would do, if they speak Hebrew, they will see a Nehemia min be Yeshua.
So they have to add be Yeshua in Yeshua.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so interesting. Okay. Wow, that's really interesting. So you said 95% are not comfortable calling themselves Christians. What do they call themselves in Hebrew, and then how does that translate, let's say, into English?
So they will have different terms that they're comfortable with. They will say Jewish believers, or Messianic believer, or Messianic believer in Jesus. All these kind of different terms, or follower of Jesus, Talmidim Yeshua, or things like this. So they will.
So Talmidim Yeshua is disciples in Yeshua or of Yeshua.
Yes.
Okay.
So they have a lot of different terms that they can use that they're comfortable with, whereas none of them is using the word Christian. I mean, from both parts.
Of the 95%. Well, that's really interesting.